Mandy Andreasen, and I am a professional cellist and a cello teacher.
What does a typical day at work look like for you?
So every day is different for me. Some days I am at home all day long and doing just home stuff because I can stay at home then. Other days I may be teaching, or I may be rehearsing, I may be performing concerts. It just depends. So for today I'm teaching lessons, and so I'll be going home after this and teaching some students. Tomorrow I don't have anything during the day, but in the evening I'm doing a run through for Adele's show. So we do a run through before the shows start to practice one time through, and then from there we just do the shows. But tomorrow evening I'm going to go do a run through for that. And over the weekend I did a video game concert, Final Fantasy. Have you ever heard of Final Fantasy? I don't know, it's a video game. It has a huge following. But we did two rehearsals on Saturday. So we did like 2 hours of rehearsing, and then we had a break for lunch, and then we did 2 hours more of rehearsing. And then on Sunday, it was a really long day. We did 2 hours of rehearsing, and then we did one concert, and then we had a break, and then we did another concert.
Wow.
So yes, both of those were sold out, and they were the huge fan base for that video game. So,
wow, that's
but it was
really
a full symphony. It was pretty neat.
Nice.
So
how many hours do you typically work in like a week, or does it really like kind of like vary, like you were just saying?
it varies all the time. So I could go, like the last couple weeks we traveled a lot, so I didn't work at all. But then sometimes it actually all depends on what I want to take on. So I might teach 4 or 5 hours in one day, or I might teach 0 hours. And then same with the gigs. Sometimes the gigs might be all day. I sometimes sub with a group called Pop Strings, and they play the Raiders games. And so we might leave in the morning. I might have to be there, I don't know, it's really early. It's like 5:30, 6 a.m. or something like that. I'd have to get up and get to the bus to get to the stadium early, and we're there until the game ends. But other days I might leave to go play a wedding, like, and I leave there at the house, and I might be back like 2 hours later or 3 hours later. So it's a huge difference.
Yeah. Is there like a range of salaries that?
Yeah. So I'd say 0 if I choose not to work at all, because I make my own schedule. I don't know. Sky's the limit, kind of depending on how. At one point before I had kids, I was teaching like 24 students every week, and performing and traveling to perform and everything. So it would just depend. I would say anywhere from 0 to 100,000 on average if I'm not working too much, and then more if I wanted to work nonstop. I don't work as much now because of the kids, so I can be home with them more.
Yeah, well, that's really cool though.
Yeah.
So what do you think is like the best part of your job?
Just making music. I love to play, and I get to do it most of the time with some good friends. So like you would go hang out with your friends. We would probably opt to talk more, but playing music together would be second best. So, we get to go, like, let's say if we play a wedding, we get to get there, we kind of catch up a little bit, get ready, play the wedding, and, catch up when we leave. But it's kind of fun making music with friends. And then, like, this weekend, I knew a ton of people in the orchestra, so it's good to see a whole bunch of people and catch up with a whole bunch of people. So yeah, just making music with friends and getting to make music, which everybody gets to enjoy.
Yeah.
But I get to be in that action. So I think the other thing too is when we're playing a show or something that I really, really enjoy. So like I really enjoy Adele. I love Adele's music. So I get to sit like pretty close to her and just sit and watch her show. I mean, I'm playing too, but it's kind of a neat little perk. I think if I really liked football, the football games would be really exciting because we have a perfect seat to watch the game. Football's not really my thing, but the games are super fun, so.
That's really cool. What do you think is like the worst or the hardest part of your job?
I think everything, can be positive or negative with it. So yes, it's fun to get like dressed up and do all my hair and my makeup and stuff like that, but then also it's a hassle. Same thing, it can be a hassle, like musicians end up working on like Christmas, and if I'm doing church music stuff, we might be working Christmas or holidays and stuff like that, so that's hard. So the same thing where I can be as busy as I want can also be the negative, because sometimes I feel like, as a freelance musician, nothing's guaranteed. So I kind of sometimes feel like I should say yes to everything, but in reality, you need to find that balance. So that's kind of a hard part of it. But most of the bad in it could also be perceived as very good.
Yeah. Do you have like a degree in music, or do you have a certain Are there any like set certifications that you need to perform it for all these different people?
I do have 2 degrees. I have a bachelor's degree in cello performance and a master's degree in cello performance. So I actually did 5 years of undergrad because I transferred schools, but I did 5 years of undergrad and then 2 years for a master's degree. You don't have to have those. Nobody normally asks, like in a performance setting, it's really based on how you play. But those years of experience and practice are huge. So even though nobody is gonna necessarily ask whenever I go get hired to play a show, because a lot of times it's an audition and they're just gonna pay attention to what I play or how I play, it's beneficial to have that because that was a huge part of my learning. But on the flip side, there are realms in the music world because there's so many different kind of areas that I perform. For instance, there'll be symphony orchestras. If I ever decided I wanted to play in a symphony, there are symphonies that won't even accept your tape or anything to even listen to you unless they see your resume and see what schools and who you studied with. Oh, wow. They might even be like, oh, no, before they even hear you play, you could be the best person, but they won't hear you play if your resume doesn't look right. So, and on the education side of things, to like teach at a college or something, full college, you would probably need a doctorate in music. I have done adjunct faculty at the university and I just needed my master's degree for that. So on the education side, just, you do need those degrees. Performance side, really about performing, but you need the time and the training and the experience. For my teaching that I do, I specialize in a pedagogy program called the Suzuki Method, and I did go and do extra training in that. Oh, so cool. After college. So it trains you to teach really young kids. So I started cello as young as 2. Wow. Yes, it's pretty awesome. It's really, really exciting. It's based on the idea that all kids learn to speak the language that their mother speaks. So if we play the music enough and expose them to it enough, that they will end up being able to play as well.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's super exciting. I get super passionate about it, but not that they're all going to turn into Yo-Yo Ma, but just that they're all going to be able to do it.
Yeah. So do you have any like final comments or anything else you'd like to share?
I think being open to do different things outside of what I originally thought I was going to do has made it more fun and more enjoyable, because all of my training was classical. So I kind of had planned on doing maybe like teaching and orchestra, but then I ended up in Las Vegas and I was offered and asked to play pop music and rock music and stuff like that. And I think if I had been afraid of that or didn't think that that's what I was supposed to do, that life would be very boring. I love classical music, but it's the fact that I can go do classical music and rock music and pop music and just anything makes it more enjoyable. So I think thinking outside the box and being willing to try different things made it a lot more fun.
That's really cool. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.